Okay, we are live. It's me. It's CBB. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the CBB Network is proud to bring to you the greatest wrestling show in the world. Big Yule Carter, Badass Boogie Bentley, Sexual Chocolate, Antonio Brice, and myself come up with we are the Wrestling Council. Bow down. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. This is the first time this is on my channel, and yeah, I'm kind of freaking out a little bit in case it isn't obvious. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about, guys. I'm actually going to sit back here for a second and let you guys take the lead here. Boogie, you said you got an update for TNA, man.
Oh, I got so much to talk about. We're going to talk about AEW. We're going to talk about NXT. And yeah, I'm bringing a full Impact Wrestling report. But the first thing we got to talk about is the picture I put out this week. You guys sold it. You guys sold the advertisement.
No, I actually had that. This is my fault. I'm new to StreamYards, man. I had that up as the cover picture for the stream today.
Yeah, it's there. It's still there.
Yeah. And I had to I don't know how to make. I set it up ahead of time, but for some reason I couldn't get StreamYards to go to it, so I had to create a whole new one for the stream now. So I got a message up going up over there and telling everybody, hey, the stream's actually over here. So that's my fault.
Most generic Photoshop from my phone picture ever, but I still loved it.
Dude, it was great.
I thought it was awesome, man. The only question I have is how come I'm not the champion, man?
Well, I did make myself Adam Cole, if you guys didn't realize.
Boom!
I couldn't help it. Antonio.
Yes.
Did you not like it?
I thought I retweeted it, but
well, I appreciate the love. I just wondered if you wanted to know why you had a white body.
I didn't.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I was like, something's wrong from the neck down here, man.
It's all right. Next week,
there's a lot of things wrong from a bunch of neck downs.
Next week will be the Nation of Domination.
Oh man, I want to be. Who the hell am I going to be? It's like D'Lo Brown. I want to be D'Lo Brown.
You can be D'Lo.
Okay.
What are we going to talk about? What?
Oh my God! Where do we start?
For me, if I'm let's talk about ratings because we were talking about that right before we went live. AEW is back on top this week. It was really close though, but for me, it's not really about the ratings war. I mean, I look at it each week, so I guess it kind of is. But for me, I want to see that overall number. And when AEW dropped so low last week, and everybody was freaking out, but I listened to it wasn't Meltzer, it's the other guy, Brian Alvarez, I think his name is.
Yeah,
he was talking about it. He was like, "Calm down, just calm down. It's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. People are traveling; they're not watching wrestling." And I think it's good to see AEW bounce back. I think they 851,000, NXT 845,000.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
that's about where they've been, isn't it?
Yeah. It's been consistent outside of the first week where they did over 1 million.
They as far I was having a conversation about stealing, or downloading AEW, and how it doesn't really count, obviously. But I think it actually does because of the way they do the commercials. You should actually take a look at people downloading them because they're still getting the commercials that are on television, and not everybody might have it, but I think people that are willing to actually take a look at it is something that it's not something to latch onto, but it's something that should be looked at.
I mean, as far as the ratings go, man, we knew that this thing was going to be kind of in flux for a while. You know what I mean? It's and as far as people downloading it, that's the other thing too. Certain pirating forms of pirating are going to reduce shows like that anyway, because a lot of people are like, I don't want to watch this thing right now. I'm going to download it and watch it later.
Yeah, I mean, I got an issue downloading comic books. I got an issue downloading. I say issue, but whatever. I don't care what you do in your personal life, like music, stuff like that. I get it. You're hurting the artist. You're hurting the creator. I get it. Wrestling, I don't know that I even freaking care, man. It's just
I mean, they're paid by advertisement.
Sure.
So as long as the advertisement's still getting to the person stealing it,
sure.
Because of the way they do their and AEW made sure you knew it. Picture in picture.
Oh, God. I'm over that.
Picture in picture.
I'm over that.
But,
I'm over
commercial, and you get it's like World Cup soccer or something like that. You get the banners.
I raise my hand and say that I didn't love Dynamite this week.
Oh no,
I didn't love it either. There was some
bad things and some good things. So why didn't you? What didn't you like, Antonio?
Okay, that opening match, it was a little too much. It was a little too busy.
It felt like a step back.
Yeah,
I love the opening match. It's the Young Bucks, man.
Yeah, I like it too.
Don't get me wrong. It was entertaining, but I'm watching this going, how is there a 10 count in this or not?
Every Young Bucks match goes that way, though. Every one. It's usually a 3 to 4 minute opening and a 15 to 20 minute finish of nonstop, no tags. And I get people talk about JR and how he's frustrated, and he makes little comments on commentary about referees and not why they're not calling it down the line. So I get what you're saying, Antonio. Is there not a 10 count? Can anybody come in the match? But for me, when I watch a Young Bucks match, I'm like, throw the rules out the window. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the ride.
I wanted to because I was just like, I was wanting to go in here. Yeah, this is great. And I was just like, man, it's just too much going on. It was just too much. It was like, it's too many, like I said, too many high spots. I was just like, okay, everybody, because they're jumping off and they're outside the ring, so everybody's got to be in position to make sure they catch him. And I'm like, okay.
There might have been a little bit of hesitation to come out with something not high spotty after the ratings. I mean, obviously, we have all the excuses built in on why they didn't do so well. But even still, your first match after a not so great show, at least ratings wise, you want to make sure it looks good, and there's a lot of stuff that you need people coming back. You know,
I totally understand the energy of it, and I actually like the energy of it. Like you said, Bucks are just they're just balls to the wall all the time.
No,
Bob,
the problem I had with it was, weren't you at that show, or is that the
no? I'm not. No, the show I'm going to is in January.
Oh, okay. I was like, I know you said you had I was actually looking. I was like, Bob at the show?
I can't wait. I'm gonna have to get like a souvenir list from everybody for stuff to buy.
Where's it at? What show are you going to? Where was it at?
I'm going to the January. I believe it's January 29th in Cleveland.
Okay.
Cleveland,
awesome. Dude, you should do some like live streaming or a vlog.
I'm gonna try, dude. I'm gonna try. I've got some stuff ordered, some equipment ordered to so that my camera phone will be a little bit better.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
If they'll let me, dude, I'll do everything I can. I might even see if I can get some get a few words from somebody at the
dude. Hang around, because if you watch all this AEW stuff, they stick around after the show. My favorite thing in the first match wasn't even the Bucks; it was freaking Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah,
that dude, he can still go, and he may be in the best shape of his career. Fast paced, dude. His opening, I loved everything he did. Great opening from him. Great hot tag. He's doing flippy stuff to kind of blend in with the Buck. Wearing tassels, bro. Come on.
That was cool. When he came out with and then he did the pose.
Yeah, super kick. I loved it.
And you know what? And that highlights the thing that I see in AEW that I don't see. NXT is about the only other place I see that is that they're having fun.
Yeah.
They are enjoying what they're doing. And like I said, it was a great idea to have that match as the opener, coming off of kind of a down, like you said, like a down show the week before. The Bucks are always big energy. The only issue I had with it, like I said, was it felt like that all six men were in the ring together too long.
But that seems to be the norm in AEW. It seems to be like, what are the rules?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I'm like, what are the rules? Is there a 10 count or not? But the one thing I I like it, but I'm hoping he doesn't keep doing this because I don't want it to become a stale thing. Is when Dustin does the hang on a minute.
Funny. I laugh when he
the first time he did that, I was like, okay, that's freaking hilarious. And then he did it again here, and I'm like, maybe save it for like a big match where you're going for like 10 or 20 minutes straight, and then you're like, okay, hang on a minute. You know, I just don't want it to become a thing with him.
You can hear like the audience pause, and then everybody in that arena laughed.
No, I'm waiting on Cornette. Yeah, I'm waiting on Cornette. You're exposing the business.
You know it's coming because even me, there are little things that piss me off, and when I watch that, I'm like, if this was a fight, you're gonna get punched in the mouth. But sometimes I have to tell myself to shut up, back away, and go. This is about entertainment. And if everybody's laughing and having fun, then that's all that matters. But Antonio,
I did laugh when it happened. I was like, I laughed. So.
If you didn't like Dynamite, what was the best thing you watched this week?
I didn't. There were parts of the show I surprisingly enjoyed. What was that Andromeda girl? Her match. I enjoyed that match, the female match. You know, I've been hard on these. I've been hard out here on these women. Chris Statlander, and Hikaru Shida.
Over Shida.
The Nyla Rose angle it still disturbs me. And then so she's I don't know. I'm trying to wrap my head around this new way of thinking. But so the Nyla Rose angle. They're getting ready to let her power bomb the chick through the table, and then they go, because she switches it up and power bombs a man through the table. The ref,
Rick Knox is taking some crazy bumps though. When that happened, I was like, Yule's laughing because Yule is eating it up just like I am. PWG fanboys.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing is, I'm sitting there going, because they clearly have another woman that could handle her in Awesome Kong, but they're keeping those two. If you notice, they're making sure those two are separate because they're both heels. Yep. So they don't want two like big heels, dominant heels like that going at each other. So I'm like, they have her do her thing, and then she's suspended. Boom. Okay. And then Awesome Kong comes out.
I just don't understand why she was doing that stuff. It just didn't.
Nyla Rose.
Yeah. I mean, they're just
trying to get her over as the monster heel, which is weird because she lost,
and
right?
Kong.
And she's been kind of on a downspin, and it's like, let's kind of build her back up. And it's like Antonio said, you got two girls that are the same. They're the same. They're exactly the same, and you're building them up both the same. It's like, why don't you just use Kong? I don't understand.
Well, actually, they got three of them that are the same. They got Awesome Kong. They got what's her name, Asa Kong, and Nyla Rose. Remember the Asian woman that came out that was up in Awesome Kong's face during the women's inaugural match.
I didn't see that.
I don't remember that.
I can't remember.
I'm like, I've watched it all, and I'm still lost.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she hasn't been back since. But what do you guys think about the storyline that they're pushing for with Brandy Rhodes? The
terrible.
I don't like Brandy Rhodes.
Awful.
Yeah,
Brandy Rhodes should be coming out to the ring with Cody, looking hot and doing nothing else.
Yeah, that was the thing. It kind of fell flat. Like when Cody came out and he mentioned like he doesn't know where his wife is or something. He was that seemed weird to me, and I was like, don't fall into that weird angle like WWE has right now, where you got married people like. She's sleeping with this guy or whatever. I was like,
do you follow Lana on Instagram?
Hell no.
Oh no.
Well, you should. But she's always posting pictures with Bobby Lashley. It's like, this is so weird, man. She lives her gimmick. Her gimmick.
She also lives in Nashville with her husband.
Exactly.
Because I've been following them for a while, and I know they used to always post pictures in bed together and all this kind of like, hey.
They're always at the Preds games too, man.
Yeah, they was chilling, and I was like, but obviously, they talked about that. Rusev did an interview a couple weeks ago, and he mentioned that the angle has kind of changed their life a little bit. They've had to change their travel arrangements.
Yeah,
they're traveling separately now because I guess for the gimmick, they have to keep it going. So I was like, that's stupid. That means that's a dumb angle. Like, yeah, I can't travel with my wife now because of this.
But Tony Hodge has he says AEW needs more heavyweights just beating the heck out of each other and a little less flying around. I think they're trying to build some of their bigger guys up. I mean, they've got Luchasaurus back. They're pushing in with Jack Hager. I do think. And what did you guys think about the comments that Chris Jericho said about Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, where he said if they were in AEW, they'd be over like crazy?
I think they would be more authentic in AEW. I think that's the thing. I think Roman Reigns is a good wrestler. He's not a great wrestler. He's a good wrestler. But when somebody he's pushed down your throat, pushed down your throat, you get sick of it.
Mm-hmm.
But
I do think they need some. I think that, and from what I understand, they're shopping around too, trying to find some big guys. Just to get a little bit of that, old school, just power muscle in there.
Well, look at the main event. Joey Janela, he's been getting in good shape, dude. Give that guy credit because Jim Cornette loves that guy. He loves to rip on him for his body.
Yeah,
he's getting in shape. But he looks like a child.
Match, he needs to buff up a little bit.
He looks like a child beside Moxley.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like
I love Joey Janela, and like you said, he is working to get himself beefed up a little bit, but man, he did look small next to Moxley. But then what you guys think of what you guys think of? Yeah, Marco's still good. God, what did you guys think about the Phoenix Trent match?
I thought it was great.
It was a good match.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird. They kept talking about Trent in singles, and I hope they don't break up the best friends.
I was really worried at the end when he started like kind of going off, and they were pulling him off of there. I'm really worried that they're hinting at the possibility of breaking that team up.
And I hope they don't. But Trent's great. Look, Trent's the Shawn Michaels. Chuck Taylor's the Marty Jannetty. It's yeah. But I like them together, man. I don't want them to break up. But it concerns me when the commentators are telling a story of a guy being a great singles wrestler. How about Orange Cassidy's reactions on were you guys watching him? Like there was a close false finish, and Orange Cassidy starts walking like he's going to go get in the ring, and then he just stops and goes, and turns around and just slowly walks back. That dude is money, and if you don't get it,
no, okay.
He is 100% committed to the bit, man.
Yes.
Okay, what did y'all think about NXT or AEW pulling the rib on NXT for that? What was that? The Dennis chick. I thought that was funny. They set her up in the audience and stuff.
I loved it. The only thing they missed the boat by doing it during a commercial, and then they had to come back to it.
Okay, yeah.
I thought it was silly, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, look, man, they're just having fun.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. I was like,
well, I mean, if they get any comparison, even if people are upset, it's probably a win for AEW.
Yeah.
How about this comment from Franklin Barrett? Jungle Boy versus Jericho. Can we talk about that Jericho segment and how Chris Jericho is the hottest thing in wrestling right now. I do not care if you disagree with me because you're wrong. How great was that interview? When he comes out with the list and he's like, no, screw WWE. It's the lexicon of Le Champion. And they're like, I don't even think he knows what that word means. But I love the list.
They are called him El Champion. And then I was like, wait a minute, why'd you call him El Champion? That was weird. And
I love how he said that the lexicon included dinosaurs and little children.
Yeah.
How about the full list, though? He goes, the Young Bucks, Papa Buck, which that's what they call their dad, Uncle Buck, Buck Owens. Money. That's a money line. And then he says, Hangman Page, Diamond Dallas Page, money. That's money. Yeah.
Dude, when you said Page, I was laughing. But the funniest thing to me was how Moxley's name is on there like four times.
Over and over. I love it.
John Moxley. John Moxley.
But what I love is we're all, as fans, enjoying it, right? We're all having fun. We all think it's funny. But then when it's time to get down to business, Jericho shuts it down. Jungle Boy comes out. I love Luchasaurus finally getting to talk on Dynamite. He's like the PH. I love that he's and I'm like, what is going on? And he's like, well, that's how you think I talk, right? No, I got a PhD, blah, blah, blah. But then the fun and games ends and Jericho goes into full heel mode and he dials it in. Hollywood Golden Child, ripping on Jack Perry and his dad. and then calls him a piece of shit. And it's like,
we went though when he said that, I was like,
But we went from funny to real, and I liked it. That Jericho's a genius, man. He's so good.
Jericho's like him and Cody's spot. Like I said, they're doing weird stuff with that Brandy angle right now. I mean, but obviously, I know they're still going home together. But that's I don't know. But I look forward to seeing Mr. Jericho. And JR hasn't called him Jack Swagger like he did a couple weeks ago, which I thought was funny. And then he's getting a little salty because people have been ribbing him on Twitter. And then he said, hopefully I won't say anything that I have to be corrected on Twitter.
Man, he eats a lot of crap on Twitter, though.
Yeah, he does.
Well, and on podcasts, he mentioned they were interviewing him on podcasts about 2 weeks ago, and he kind of mentioned he was like, the fans need to, I'm still learning some of these newer wrestlers and all this kind of stuff. And, they need to give me that time to develop and all this kind of thing. But I don't know. I actually thought when they brought, when Shivani was back in the announce booth this week, I liked his spot with Cody. That's money. When he's in there, when he's doing that, he could be like the new Mean Gene type guy. That's what I can see him. They should use him like that. Or one of them has to go from the announce thing.
That's what I said. When Tony was back on announced this week, I was like, man, this just does not. There's no flow here. It's just
which is weird. I saw, and it might have been Meltzer's show again, and they were talking about it. I forget where I heard it, but they were saying that Jim Ross needed to go.
Yeah,
and Shivani
he sounded a little tired this week. I'm just being honest. I was like,
but it could, and maybe. I just, my problem is with three guys. That's my problem. It's not, my problem is not with Tony Schiavone. I love Tony Schiavone.
Like I said, it could be Shivani
or Ross. Either
one of them has to go, though. I honestly believe that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
When they're on there together, it just seems like they're just not on the same page.
Yeah.
There's no energy there. Their discussion kind of meanders off into things that don't matter. It's just, it was weird, and like I like them both. I mean, they're both legends in the business.
Do we all agree that Excalibur is good though?
Oh God, he's the best thing on there.
I love him.
Table. He's the best.
Yeah, it's got to be JR or Tony.
It can't be them both. And honestly, I think it should be. I think it should be Tony, because I think when he's doing those interviews, like you said, like doing the Mean Gene thing, and when he's doing the intros on Dark, I think that's where he does well. That's where he works best.
And looks like he's letting the gray come back into his beard. I saw that.
But he's rocking the earrings. I'm like, dude.
Because I think, he messed up. He colored his hair and all that. I was like, what are you doing, Tony? You're old. Everybody knows it, man. Just be old. I'm like, age is a strength. I don't consider it a weakness. I guess maybe on television they consider it a weakness. But
I did finally hear the audio problems at the beginning of the show, Boogie.
Oh, they were terrible. Terrible. At least they got them fixed. This week.
Yeah.
But it was awful.
I think that was like Shivani was actually kind of good during that.
I think that, like overall, my assessment of AEW is pretty much the same as it's been for a couple of weeks now. They need to get their technical stuff under control. They need to decide what they want to do with their announce team, because like I said, I think a 2-man team works best. Maybe a third person, like a special person for like maybe one match or something like they were doing a Dark. Yeah. But just get your 2 people and figure out what the hell you're doing with the women's division, man. Because it's kind of all over the place. I mean, the matches are almost always great.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I haven't watched a single bad match on the men, at least on the men's division. I don't think I can point at one match that was less than a B. With the women, there's some ups and there's some downs. It's obvious they're trying to find themselves, but they need to figure out what they want to do. But
you know what I would do? Britt Baker would never wrestle on TV again.
Yeah.
When you've got girls like Chris Statlander and Sheeta, dude, they are finding some women. Like, I think the WWE women's roster is very good. Very good. But AEW is bringing in some women I've never even heard of that are having great matches. I thought the Statlander Sheeta match was great.
That's why I was surprised. I loved it. I was like, that's a good match.
And then again, you've got Sheeta, who I think is their top performer in my personal opinion.
I'm a big fan.
Okay, hold on. Let me ask you guys this. When Christopher Daniels came in the ring, so it's not just me. I thought I was hating. I was like, oh God, that was bad. I was like,
there's a lot bad.
Okay. You know what though?
So
Christopher Daniels used to be a little bit more fit, but he is an old man now.
He's an old man, but he's also one of those guys that, as a cool wrestling fan, you're supposed to like. He's not. I don't see it.
He never got over it. He's been wrestling.
No,
he's been almost.
He's had some
years.
good times. Mostly.
Let me be a big asshole. He's just like Cesaro. Cesaro is a great wrestler, but Cesaro can't get over.
That's why I'm like, you could say, okay, well, he was in TNA or whatever, and they were featuring him. But even when you're being featured in a small company, that's different. It's like, oh, I was a champion Mid-South Wrestling, which used to be a big deal back in the day.
But he can't.
He could. He's never been given anything really good, and the few times people liked him in Sheamus and stuff like that.
He's a great wrestler.
And they like Sheamus and tolerated him.
That doesn't have that
guy is legitimately probably their strongest guy on the roster.
So what?
And he can wrestle.
No, he really is, dude. He is a freak of nature.
He's
talking weightlifting.
I'm like,
have you ever seen those workout videos that Sheamus did?
He does. He's got like a vlog. Yeah,
freaking Cesaro is like over there just it's like, holy crap.
I ain't here to watch dudes lift weights, bro. I'm here to watch wrestling.
Well, Vince is a muscle fitness guy, though. That guy when he brought Lex Luger in, and then he put him. He had bought that Muscle magazine, and all of a sudden you got Lex Luger, who was hotter than the sun at that point, and you got him. Hey, I've got him. I think he was still under he couldn't be on TV, so he's putting him on in damn Muscle magazines on the cover and stuff. And everybody was like,
I'm not hating, Yule. I'm not hating.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you, Cesaro is missing something.
Vince McMahon. He's like on that when he had that interview show when the network first started. He was millennials don't understand European wrestlers or something like that, and it's like
whatever.
Millennials.
How about him? How about Christopher Daniels almost dying trying to do that moonsault?
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the thing about Christopher Daniels too that a lot of people don't that we haven't actually touched on. For a lot of his career, he was orbiting around what's his name? Frankie Kazarian.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the team.
Them were beat up for a long time. So
he is much better as a tag team than singles for me. But even still, I just don't think he's. There are certain people that you're supposed to think are great, and
he's had great matches.
I'll sit here and lie about it, and I'll be like, I love Christopher Daniels, but I'm bringing truth. I'm bringing truth tonight.
He's had some really, really great matches when TNA, when it had him and AJ Styles. Those were really great, but his personality, he feels like a guy that has ideas and he just has no way of really translating them for the screen.
Yeah,
sure.
And that's where I
think Christopher Daniels would be a great agent, or he's a guy that you want in the company. Because
I think the way that they're using him right now is the best way, where he every once in a while he'll step into a match, but most of the time he's just the cheerleader.
Yeah. I want to get into some WWE. I want to talk about some other stuff, but let me hit this Impact Wrestling report because I promised it. So I got to deliver it. And then we'll switch gears. All right, so here we go. I took one for the team this week. I was like, I got some extra time. I'm gonna sit down and watch Impact, and I'm gonna talk about it on the Wrestling Council. They had one wrestling match in the first 62 minutes of the show.
Jeez.
This is a 2-hour show. 62 minutes in, the bell rings for the second match. Another thing I have a major issue with, and you can at me on Twitter. I don't care. They're building up Tessa Blanchard as the number one contender for the world title, the men's world title, and there is no doubt in my mind, none whatsoever. They're going to put the belt on her. It's going to happen. She's going to be the Impact World Champion. And Tessa Blanchard is one of the best women's wrestlers on the planet.
Yeah.
But do you know why Ronda Rousey never won the men's heavyweight championship in UFC? Because when you take the best female and put them in the best against the best male in a physical confrontation, they're going to lose. I don't care what year it is. I don't care if we're woke or going broke. It does not matter. A female is not going to beat a male in an athletic competition head to head. Are there women basketball players that could beat Boogie in a basketball game? 100%. Yes. But are there women basketball players that are going to beat LeBron James in a basketball game? Absolutely not. So stop creating this narrative in wrestling. Let me. What do you got? What do you got?
I was just wondering, like, you know, the thing a person would probably say in response is that the outcome is predetermined. So what's the big deal?
Because you have to have some believability there. It's like what we talked about in AEW. Where are the rules? That's a problem. Because I know it's fake. I know wrestling's fake. It's predetermined.
No, it's
don't spit in my face.
What about who the person is that's holding the belt? Would that be okay?
Well, she just beat Brian Cage, who is 300 pounds of jacked steroids to become the number one contender.
Never mind. I withdraw any argument.
Yeah, shut up. Let me wrap up the Impact report.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, where am I at here? Okay, Tessa Blanchard. And again, I love her. She in more than one way. But anyway, RVD comes out, and as Antonio says, living his best life, just making out with hot chicks, living the dream with a Mr. Monday Night shirt on a Tuesday night program. 4 matches total. Main event was ODB versus Taya Valkyrie. End of story. There's a dude that follows me on Twitter, my personal account, that is like obsessed with Impact Wrestling and goes on and on and on about it. Dude, if you keep putting out programs like this, nobody's going to watch it. It was terrible. And Impact has some great wrestlers. That's the frustrating part. You know, great roster.
It's a shame what they're doing with Tessa Blanchard because they've got, I guess, ODB, you said, and they've got Taya Valkyrie, and they've got other women for her to wrestle.
Yeah.
It's not fair to those other women also that they shouldn't be fighting or maybe looking good against, Blanchard also.
In comparison, is Becky Lynch going to wrestle Brock Lesnar for the WWE title?
Yes, well, she's the man.
Compared to like some of the other people.
I'm gonna tell you why this is happening, because her contract is coming up. She's already stated that she's interested in going to be with her dad.
They want to make her happy.
And they are like, we will give you the world if you stay here.
This is all Joey Ryan's fault, because what he did with Candice LeRae, and I loved it. But when they did their whole tag team bit, intergender wrestling, it was well done. Like if they were wrestling two dudes, Candice LeRae's not going to come in and start body slamming dudes. It was always well done. She would go to body slam a guy, couldn't do it. Joey would come in and help her. It was always well done. And this isn't. Yeah. Tessa Blanchard has no business beating Brian Cage.
Yeah, I think Frank Barrett here said best, if Kofi gets squashed in 9 seconds by Brock, Tessa or Becky has no chance against Brock.
Get woke or go broke. That's all I know.
Yep. But I did watch that little segment of Tessa versus Brian Cage. I'm just like, not only that, but can we talk about the crazy facial expressions she was doing? Like she's like, it's like, what the hell is this? But yeah,
I don't know what that was.
Yeah. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about NXT this week?
Look. Right. I thought that AEW, even though Antonio didn't like it, I thought it started strong with the Young Bucks match.
A weaker show.
No, I'm saying that first match. I thought it started strong, finished really weak. I thought NXT started really weak and then finished really strong. I love the main event of NXT. I loved it.
Dude, how cool is it that the Undisputed Era comes out and they actually start talking about that meme with Keith Lee just straight jacking Adam Cole off the friggin' ramp, just like sent him into the friggin' stratosphere, man.
I don't know if it's become a gif yet or not. My favorite moment of that match was when Balor runs in, jumps Cole, jumps Ciampa, and then it's like the picture perfect camera angle of Balor in the corner. Yeah, he's about to fire off a drop kick, and then Keith Lee just rises up behind him. It's like that has to be a gift.
That is actually starting to run around. I've actually seen a few of them.
It has to,
dude. That was it. Again, I'm going to say it, man. Keith Lee is
money. He's money.
He is. If he is not a future world champion on the main roster,
I didn't realize Keith was as old as he is. That threw me off a little bit.
Been around for a while, man.
Yeah,
I've never seen him until PWG. Just within the last Yule? Like when?
I don't even know. I'm like
maybe a year and a half. No, well, I mean, he just started showing up in PWG shortly before he went to NXT.
Well, the reason I say that is because if you're saying NXT is supposed to be more developmental, but I mean they put guys like Samoa Joe who had been wrestling for years in NXT, and I was like, why Samoa Joe?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there was that thing on Twitter where someone was talking about all the stars that the WWE has comes from NXT. And it's like, that's hokey. I mean, that's
they come from Ring of Honor and PWG.
Sami Zayn didn't need to be down there.
By the way, anybody watched
Kevin Owens doesn't need to be down there. All those guys that were there didn't need to be there. I mean, some of those guys were even in like FCW, and they were stewing down there forever. And it was like Dean Ambrose,
Seth Rollins, dude.
Seth Rollins actually need a little bit work on the mic.
Dude, on the mic, sure.
Yeah, and there was like a few things, like he was still really young when they brought him in, even as like a Ring of Honor champ. I can understand him, but even still, as far as like work rate, that guy was already top notch.
Great.
Can we agree? Because I watched SmackDown. Can we agree that Bobby Roode is a job guy now? Is that what that is?
Dude could be great. He could be great.
Dude, when he was in TNA and they had like beer money and stuff going on, I was like, I thought he was dope.
Dude, I've been a fan of him since Team Canada in TNA.
Yeah.
And now he's useless. Him and Ziggler both.
Bobby Roode is an example.
Ziggler could be a star.
One of the guys that come,
they don't believe
not
in
anymore.
Him. Yeah, well, they think Roode him.
That guy's like that old hooker on the street.
Yeah, Roode is another one.
I mean, he slept with Sonny and she wasn't in her prime.
Wouldn't you? Come on, Antonio.
But the thing is Roode is just another example of one of those guys that came in already formed, and Vince was just like, I don't like it. That's another one of those things that came out of that. But that guy you were talking about, Yule, I actually kind of got into that guy with it a little bit because I kept blowing his friggin' argument out of the water, and he just kept coming back at me, and I eventually just let it go because I'm like, look, nothing I say, like, I'm not going to convince this guy that he's wrong. Nothing I say to this guy is going to change this guy's mind. He's a Vince D rider.
Wait, where was this going on?
It was just about 6 or 7 exchanges, but eventually it got to the point where he started doing the name calling thing. I was like, okay, well, you're on.
I didn't see that.
Was it on Twitter?
Yeah, it was on Twitter.
I missed it.
I was just like, okay, well, it's obvious that nothing I say is gonna, like, you have your mind set at this, and there's nothing I can say about it, because he's like, you guys are like, oh, you don't know what you want. And I was like, yeah, I do know what I want. I just laid it out for him what I wanted. I was like, I want less BS, and I want more wrestling. I want people who deserve to be pushed. I want, And he's like, well, then you'll get what you want, and you'll still complain. And I'm like, okay, well, now you're not. This is just stupid. So.
Okay, well, so let me ask this. Okay, because one of the promos they cut on SmackDown was their teasing the return of Sheamus. So Sheamus is coming back, and we also know that John Morrison has it's the biggest secret in professional wrestling, even though I heard about it like a month ago that John Morrison was coming back to WWE, and now is he going to SmackDown or Raw?
What a waste. Why not bring John Morrison a run-in, a pay-per-view? Do something, man. Why are you wasting it?
You don't think it's better to build him up?
No.
Everybody that watches, you should know who that guy is.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
the way they should have done it is like, I I would personally have him. I would have him feud with whoever your top baby faces, with Kevin Owens or Seth.
I thought he should go with the Miz. I thought him and Miz should, because they did the dirt sheet together, and if fans didn't know about the dirt sheet,
all right, there you go. I could do that.
That would be a cool meta thing to do. But if you really want to have him have impact, have him come in and just absolutely annihilate someone from behind.
Well, I've always been fascinated because Morrison. It's weird because Morrison and Miz are actually friends, but Morrison has talked a lot of trash about Miz on like different shoot interviews and stuff like that. Talking about, oh, that guy's not a good wrestler and everything. Notice Miz is still there. He wasn't. It was just. But the thing is, when they put those two together, they were both having problems getting over, and then they realized that Miz was smart and could cut promos and stuff. That dirt sheet thing, they started realizing, because you saw Morrison's physique and his in-ring ability, and you were like, a little weak on the mic, though. And then they put him with Miz, and they worked. The dirt sheet stuff they did was classic. I used to go on the WWE website and just check those little things out. I thought they cut some great stuff. And then they were like, oh. Then they were like, oh, Miz, let's get rid of, let's break them up. I think and obviously Miz has had the championship like 4 or 5 times at least.
Oh, was it Liv Morgan that used to do?
She could take on Brock.
What just happened? Who said something about Liv Morgan?
That was like a drive-by comment.
I'm lost.
But
Liv Morgan versus Brock.
She could do it.
Make it happen,
Brock.
I thought what was weird, man, my mind is spinning. We were talking about Sheamus, then we moved on to John Morrison.
Well, what was weird, because they're both coming back.
Yeah, what was weird about the Sheamus thing is it's the second match of SmackDown, and Ali comes out, and then it's like Sheamus, who looks like he's in the tunnel to come out. He's like, and it's like his music starts playing. I'm like, cool, dude, I'm excited. Let's get Sheamus back. And then Drew Gulak comes out. I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah, that was a little weird.
It made no WWE booking, man.
But we know he's going to be on SmackDown. That's why I was wondering, is John Morrison going to be on SmackDown? Is he going to be on Raw?
Yeah, I don't know.
He'd probably be on Raw because
I'm more excited about Sheamus coming back. I like Sheamus.
Yeah. Well, I was you don't understand. It was John Morrison, Ted DiBiase Jr. There were a couple of those guys that I thought were going to be huge. Ted DiBiase Jr. just never could get over.
I love that you bring him up all the time because I was such a huge fan of Ted DiBiase Jr. and Cody back when they were in that little group together. I loved both guys, and I thought they were both money. And I was right about Cody, and I think Ted DiBiase Jr. could be, but I don't know. I don't even know what he's doing now.
Oh, I thought I sent you that video. They did a "Where Are You Now" on WWE.com. And he's working with his dad. They've got like Christian youth camp, and they bring in wrestlers and do all this kind of stuff. He's doing that now.
So he's making like $25,000 a year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, he's happy. He seems like he's happy. He's happy too. He said,
I just hate to see a guy that's so talented, and I want to see him succeed in wrestling, and I don't think he got that chance.
Speaking of wrestlers that seem like they're trying to push really hard, I'm not a big fan of Rhea Ripley.
I agree.
Not a fan.
That match between her and Dakota Kai. I mean, the whole idea by it is for Baszler to seem like she's unstoppable, but Rhea Ripley's out there beating the crap out of all three of them.
Yeah, and this goes back to me saying, I know wrestling's a work, but things piss me off. And when Shayna Baszler has your back and has your neck, you're going to sleep. Yeah, you're not fighting out of that, and then have to have 2 people holding your arms and. But
I like that visual.
Does Dakota Kai look way hotter as a heel, or is it just me?
Yes. Same thing with my girl, man.
What's the deal with that? Why does they look so much hotter when they turn heel?
I don't know.
Just like Olivia Newton-John in Grease.
Okay.
They got leather pants, you know.
Okay,
there's a reference I'm old enough to recognize.
Hey, look at my girl Eel, man.
Yeah, exactly. Right, and I was very disappointed when I saw that she was wearing shorts again. I like the leather pants more.
Yeah, I do too. But
sexy party.
Okay, I gotta ask you guys. The Fiend's belt.
It's a new one. It is awful, and it's also $6,000 on WWE.com.
Yeah. That was just gonna
and someone's bought it already.
Would you pay $6,000 for that?
Oh, well, there's nothing they have.
Are they sold out? Because I know they had like 500 of them they were trying to sell. They sell because I was like, Jesus, $6,000 a pop for those things, and I was like, that's the ugliest belt I've ever seen. Oh
yeah, it's.
And maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm wrong. I like the Daniel Bryan feud with the Fiend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
like
I don't like what they're doing with the Fiend, where he's unstoppable. But I like this angle with Daniel Bryan. Yes,
angle,
no,
though.
yeah.
When they went underneath, so I'm waiting to see Daniel Bryan.
He's gonna look like Ring of Honor Daniel Bryan with
he's gonna have, I think he'll still have a little bit of beard, but it won't be really huge and long, and he's gonna have the short hair again.
Yeah,
but I like Daniel Bryan coming out and talking about the yes movement and building all this stuff up, and it's like, and I like how they keep touching on. And somebody on here said it. It might have been Bob said that everybody that the Fiend touches, it might have been Yule, turns heel.
That wasn't me.
Everybody he gets his. Everybody the Fiend.
I mentioned that everybody that the Fiend fights eventually seems to go dark.
Yep, it's happening, and in commentary was touching on it, and you're seeing now Daniel Bryan in this constant state of yes movement or no. I like it. I like it. I don't like the Fiend, but I like this angle.
Yeah, subtle is good. I still think they should have used it instead of using the Fiend like they're trying to pull some Undertaker stuff here where it's a supernatural thing. I think I liked it better when he seemed just almost like an unhinged serial killer type thing.
Yeah, sure.
And for God's sake, enough with the freaking red light.
And just don't make him unbeatable. Don't make him unbeatable. That's a problem.
Yeah, it is. I mean, all those curb stomps, all the yes locks, all the knee strikes, I mean, come on. These are your finishing moves.
How do you move?
Something's got to be protected here. It's all for Bray Wyatt, really? I mean, he'll be injured the minute they do something important with him,
But how great was the Bray Wyatt stuff to begin with? And then it's the same thing. They book him into a corner over and over and over.
Yeah. What'd you think of the Reigns suddenly coming back to being a superhero again? Just 3-on-1, and he just annihilates everybody.
Again, that's what I said. It breaks my heart to see Bobby Roode being a job guy.
Yep.
It's right here in my notes. What both of you just said. I'm pointing at my notes. 3-on-1, using Roode to job and protect Corbin. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing.
Mid-card vortex, man. It continues to suck the life out of people.
He's so bad. Why
Superman punch?
The thing that gets me about Corbin is he works in his original gimmick. He worked as a good mid-card wrestler,
Yeah,
but with just constantly pushing him in main event status, and he doesn't have what it takes. He doesn't. He seems like a good guy.
Vince believes in him. Stop it.
That's exactly. That's it. That's it.
Vince likes him.
Vince likes him.
That's what he has.
The worst part about it is I'm so sick of this angle, and it was 40 minutes of SmackDown. 40 minutes between promos and wrestling and
the other thing too. Why is Nikki Cross a face?
That was a wasted match too. That's a wasted match too. They only had that Sonya Deville, Nikki Cross match just so they could bring Alexa Bliss back, which I'm not mad at.
Yeah, I like Alexa.
No, but why? Why are they faces? Does it make? Yeah, Tony's like, hey, girl.
Alexa Bliss is the hot chick in high school that everybody hated because they couldn't get with.
Yep.
That's what she is, and that's where she's the best is as a heel. But
that's where she works best when she's a heel, and Nikki works best when she's the unhinged lunatic.
Yep. And they've made this weird friendship, and that's what we get.
Yeah, that's what girls do when they get together. They have friendships, and it's not like they're working together. And maybe one doesn't really like each other, but they still work well together.
By Marvel, that. Yeah. By Marvel Comics, where we're all just instantly best friends.
Well, we're villains, but now we're friends.
It's it's just like their main event scene with the women. They have so many to work with, but if somebody isn't directly involved with the belt, they only have time with they only have time for like that one person, like Charlotte, if she's not involved in the belt picture at the time. They have a match for her also, so somebody else gets built up a little bit. But they have so many other people, they could let the dudes just have like a month off if they really wanted to.
You talk about Charlotte, that's another one that pissed me off on Raw. Charlotte versus the Kabuki Warriors. Really? Your tag champs? And Charlotte I'm surprised Charlotte didn't beat them. I'm surprised she didn't beat them both. Handicap matches, she's just making them look like idiots.
That's 100% Vince right there, man.
Yeah, that totally stems from like the Attitude Era also. I mean,
you got somebody you want to get over, just make them beat your tag champs. Make your tag champs look like idiots.
He hates tag wrestling.
And that's what I grew up with. Hot tag teams, Demolition and Doom and all these, the Heart Foundation and
skyscrapers, man.
That's what I was like, tag wrestling is dope. I mean, you just gotta it's gotta be Barbarian Warlord, all that, man. That was the Samoan SWAT team.
Man, the SST. I love the SST.
SST was my favorite because they used to come out with the Michael Myers, especially when they were in WCW.
Oh yes,
I was like, they just came out. They were unstoppable. And I mean, guys like Slick. I remember guys like, what happened to Slick?
Give me a great tag team with a manager like Slick, and let's go, man.
Yeah,
that's what I want to watch.
Who are your favorite tag teams?
Yes.
Do you have
dude, Antonio's naming them all. The Heart Foundation.
I got one to throw in. I like the Steiner brothers, actually.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Definitely love the Steiners.
Before Scott got completely worried about when he could actually move.
Yes.
A big dude who could move like that was crazy.
Yeah, the Frankensteiner is the greatest move ever.
I mean, I gotta go old school. LOD is my favorite, man.
Yes.
Back when they were I started following them back when they were in
AWA?
AWA, yeah.
You know what's funny though? They were terrible wrestlers.
You're horrible.
Oh yeah, but they have the look and they can get over it.
That's it. It's like the Ultimate Warrior. If you got the look and you get over, that's all that matters.
You asked
little 7-year-old Boogie loved the Ultimate Warrior, but the dude couldn't wrestle his way out of a paper bag.
Oh yeah, he was horrible. When you look, if you actually know about wrestling, you watch the Ultimate Warrior. That's why those matches were so quick, because it's like he wrestles for shit.
But Hogan versus Warrior was the most anticipated moment of my life at that time.
Man,
oh my God.
Hogan put him over.
Junkyard Dunn here's throwing out some stuff here, man.
Freebirds.
Freebirds and the Von Erichs, man. Like the fabulous Freebirds, man. They gave us the Freebird rule, man.
Midnight Express, yeah.
Tony Hawk, this new breed, and yes, it's Attitude Era, but Edge and Christian, the Dudleys, the Hardys, those were some of the best matches of our lifetime.
Hardys in their prime too.
Yeah.
Oh God.
They, when they were like Moolah was going through, it was going through a table. Mae Young, I guess, really.
Whichever one.
I think Mae Young is a little bit more.
Kind of jumped the shark at that point.
But but when they were
when she gave birth to the hand, it jumped the shark.
That was so hot.
But
great stuff.
I think Frank summed up the problem.
She did. She gave birth to a hand.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I think Frank summed up the problem right there when he says Reigns versus Corbin at TLC. We don't want that match.
When is TLC? Is it like right around the corner?
As long as it's not touching something like.
Isn't it?
I swear, I think there's a pay-per-view.
Yeah, December 15th. It's December 15th, so it's in like a week and a half. Like
a week and a half. Tell me. Wait. Nobody say a word. Bob, tell me one match that's on that card.
That's the only one I know of.
Oh, cool. So we're a week and a half away, and you know one match.
Yeah,
that's great booking, right? Great booking.
There's got to be some. Oh, I bet Charlotte and somebody is going to go against the Kabuki Warriors.
So
and probably win.
So if we didn't have the network and we were paying $60 for a pay-per-view, would you be ready to throw $60 on the table for a card you don't even know about?
No.
It's WWE.
I don't pay $60 for it now. I didn't have the network. I would be stealing it.
I would watch so few WWE pay-per-views if it wasn't $9.99 a month.
Yep.
$9.99.
And the best $9.99 a month is High Spots Wrestling Network. Check it out. They're not even a sponsor, but that's what you need to buy.
Okay, I want to talk about Raw for a minute.
Oh, you want to talk about Bobby Lashley?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Right?
Stop it.
Oh, for God's sake.
Why did they get arrested? Is that how they do things in, what were they, Tennessee?
Don't you talk about our state. We might
They're
be
like,
down here on
hey,
the
that's
bottom.
not how we do things here.
No,
And
Boogie,
they just arrest Bobby Lashley?
Don't talk about our state.
I'm
That's how we do things here.
Boogie, it was in your state, and they said this is not how we do things here.
And they got the biggest pop of the night too.
But okay,
I did like want to slap in that dude. Like she was like, "I'm so into this. I'm gonna slap this guy because that's what we do here in wrestling."
The best part about that angle was
I hit a cop. That was
so real quick on Raw, man. I don't. Are they turning Seth heel or not? I don't know. It seems
Also,
he's going heel.
Are we gonna get? Because Ryback was talking about this. Are we gonna get CM Punk, Seth Rollins, WrestleMania main event? I don't think it's gonna happen either. But
no, that's gonna be. I'm telling you right now. The only way that happens is if that Saudi prince drops $10 million on friggin' CM Punk, says, "Come do."
And he wouldn't get it.
You know how. Look how much they paid for friggin' Goldberg and the Undertaker.
That was awful.
They overpaid.
Yeah, and that was awful.
Weren't those like $1 million payouts though? I thought those was just like million.
Well, yeah.
I'm being prime. They would have overpaid.
You're telling me that they tell Punk, listen, you only got to come back for one night. You got to wrestle one match, and we'll drop $1.5 million or $2 million on you.
Well, and it's a weird thing because CM Punk is like a lot of fans' favorites. But one thing that I noticed Triple H and them, they started talking about, they do have a lot of numbers. They have metrics. And they notice like his merch doesn't move the way that some of the other guys' merch move. And CM Punk, when he was on with Chris Candido, and I wish they were still friends, but they're not, obviously. Yeah. But when he was on with Chris Candido, he noticed, he said, when they put that strap on you, you get a nice bump in your merchandise sales and everything. He said, then they take it off of you and then your stuff drops. His merch sells, but it doesn't sell like some of these other guys. And I think that's why Vince was always like, we have to do certain things to get the numbers for him.
I think he's like an indie-rific guy. He's like a smart mark guy. Like, I love the guy because I knew him before he got to WWE. And the smart marks love the guy. But what do the casual wrestling fans? The casual wrestling fans like The Undertaker. They like Roman Reigns. They like Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's who they like, not guys like.
I can see where Vince would be like, dude, I'm looking at my numbers, and we have to juice you to get your numbers up to a certain level.
Right,
they juice them all right.
I think like I said, the only way I see him coming back is if they do something ridiculous like that. But other than that, I don't think he's coming back because he's like, I don't need to. It's like it's a Jim Ross situation. I don't need the money.
Well, I don't think he spends a lot of money, so I think he's still probably got all of his WWE money.
No,
yeah,
not broke.
But someone actually asked a question real quick. I just want to go over the was the one match. I'm trying to find it. Eric Young versus Andrade.
Dude.
Oh, I thought it was Bob Holly, but short.
Yeah.
He looks like a straight up jobber.
Yeah.
What happened to Eric Young?
He is a straight up jobber. Did you not watch the match?
I thought he got more offense than I expected. I thought it was a good match.
Well, can we?
I liked him back in the Team Canada days too.
The stupidity that happened after.
Dude, and he's all tatted up. He looks so weird.
The 24/7 title.
Yeah, your new 24/7 champion, Bob. Is what was it? Kyle Busch. Kyle freaking Busch. Okay, that title has officially jumped the shark.
Oh, that's now.
I'm just saying, there's no argument at this point.
Did it get thrown in the trash can back in the old days and then picked up?
Yeah, it needs to go back in again.
Yeah, I think that's
somebody actually brought
up when it was the Extreme Championship. That's when it was the Hardcore Championship.
Right.
Yeah, because they Vince wouldn't give Mankind the title, and he threw the belt, he threw the European Championship.
You're right.
Yeah, and it was smashed into pieces, and he was like, he took it and put Hardcore over, and all of a sudden it became a Hardcore title. There were people, a lot of people were proud to have that.
There's a lineage.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay. At least we can chart that.
Yeah, real quick, because we're running out of time here. Starcade, did anybody watch it? Because I did.
Hell,
At least part of it.
Did they even advertise it? I did.
Yeah, I saw some blurbs on the thing, but that was
this is a wrestling podcast. We watch hours and hours and hours of wrestling. I didn't even know it existed.
The Street Profits actually had a match.
I don't even.
Nobody saw it. Nobody saw it. Nobody saw it. Street Profits had a match. They beat the OC. Friggin' Shinsuke Nakamura beat the Miz again. Yeah. Seth Rollins actually fought and defeated Eric Rowan, and again, nobody knew because half the streamers for the WWE Network couldn't see the thing.
Yep, technical difficulties.
Yeah,
poor advertising. I didn't watch it.
And almost nobody did, but there's like Seth Rollins defeated Eric Rowan. So how do we not know what's in the stupid cage? You know, I don't know
what is it going to be. I mean, they got to pay this off, right?
No, it's WWE. They don't have to pay off anything. You smart ass.
Okay, Frank put up TLC pay-per-view Rusev versus Lashley. Please God, let it be over. Reigns versus Corbin in a TLC match.
Everybody's in love with that. Vince thinks that whole thing went well. That was one of those things I read that was on that site.
I think Vince is out of touch, man.
You think?
Vince knows. They get high ratings during that time. Right in the beginning.
You're about to get kicked off the show.
I've said this for like the last 5 or 10 years, and this is what I said to that guy when we were arguing on Twitter. Vince McMahon is a legend in the industry. Without him, professional wrestling wouldn't be what it is today. But every pitcher eventually throws out their pitching arm.
He needs to die so they can move on.
Vince killed the territories and killed wrestling.
First ever women's TLC match with Asuka and Kairi defending their tag titles against Charlotte and Becky. I'm telling you, they're going to.
Not if Sandman has anything to say about it.
They're going to put the belt. Oh, geez, dude. They're going to put the belts on Becky and Charlotte.
Sure, and it makes no sense because that's what WWE does.
And they're going to ask Asuka and Kairi are going to languish until their contracts are up, and then WWE is going to try to throw a bunch of money at them to keep them from going to AEW or somewhere else. This is the circus that continues to bring WWE down. And we've said it on this show so many times. We don't like hating on WWE. We just want them to be what they are capable of being.
Dude, we hate on AEW when they deliver a piss poor performance too. So
they had a mediocre show.
They had a lot of problems this week.
Yeah.
You know, again, this week I think even though AEW beat them in the ratings, I think NXT was the better show.
I think as far as
I had more fun with AEW.
Yeah, that's how it usually works. NXT, it feels like it's a more polished product. Like AEW.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's obviously in the
that's the thing that all the WWE products have over everybody is their production values. Their production value is through the roof. But then again, they've been doing it for so long.
Yeah, I'm going back like 35 years, and I was watching Superstars of Wrestling versus the 605 TBS with NWA wrestling on Superstation. Yeah, they look like they're shooting it with a camcorder, and you'd watch Superstar with Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain or what was the other guy?
The British guy. Can't remember his name.
Lord
Alfred Hayes.
I love that guy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love that dude.
Oh God, what a great announcer.
Yeah.
Oh, he's such a
great.
Those
I thought about him forever.
But gentlemen, we are at 3 minutes after the hour. Well, we can keep going on and on and on and on, but we have reached our time. Sadly, until next week. So everybody here. Next week, join us. Who's it on next week? Is it on
Antonio?
On Antonio's channel. So next week, guys, the Wrestling Council returns on Ikari Press's YouTube channel. All of the social media is in the description here. We will be dropping ads for the next week's show. But until next time, guys. Anybody else have anything they want to say before we close out?
Nothing.
Yeah, hold on.
All right, guys.
I'm not ripping my shirt, though.
Everybody, thank you for being here. Please hit like.
I got a Talking Ball shirt on.
There you go. We got to get some merch for this show, man.
We can do it. We can do it.
I'm telling you. But until next week, everybody, we are the Wrestling Council. Thank you for being here. Until next week, hail the Wrestling Council.
Can you smell it?
I smell it.
Are you cooking something?